Hey everybody, Live Farmer 73 here. I was thinking, I've been asked a couple of different questions. I figured I'd try to answer them real quick, the best way I knew how. I've been getting a lot of questions about my chickens since I've been doing the chicken coop videos. And how I got started keeping chickens in the first place is that's a story in itself. I started keeping chickens. You wouldn't believe it. I started keeping them. Let me cut this up a little bit so I can got a whole head. I started keeping chickens because of citrus trees. Good morning, Yvonne. How you doing? It's crazy, right? What the hell would make me start keeping chickens because I raised citrus trees? It don't sound like it make no sense. Well, I used to have all my citrus trees in containers. I used to raise a lot of my fruit trees in containers. And I used to do all, hey Nene 60, I used to raise all my fruit trees and citrus in containers. I started out container gardening. And the problem with that, I ain't gonna call it a real problem, but the thing about growing stuff in containers, which you guys know, a lot of that nutrients flushes right out the bottom of the container or the bucket or whatever you have it in. And when it's gone, it's gone. And your tree will tell you real quick that all of your nutrients has washed out. Okay, it's gonna start showing signs, leaves discoloration. A lot of insects is gonna start attacking it, you know, because the tree is screaming for help. The insects can hear the tree screaming for help. They're gonna attack it. It's weak. It's just like a lion and a wounded buffalo. Okay. Well, those is on two different sides of the planet, ain't it? Well, you get the gist of what I'm saying. So anyway, I had to keep on feeding these trees, keep feeding them, and I had a lot of them. If you go back to my videos, like I'm gonna say 6, 7, 8 years ago, I had tons of these trees. I had about 30, 40 trees in containers, buckets, you name it. I even had some that you didn't even see on the videos. Well, you gotta feed them and you gotta keep feeding them. And I had a friend, I was still a nurse back then, believe it or not. And she was a little woman from the Philippines, and she did everything, her whole lifestyle. She brought the Philippines with her. I mean, everything she did. Good morning, Letitia. Everything she did, she lived here in America, not too far from me, but she still did everything like she said how she was raised back home. She had a little house on had a little ranch, and we met because I was a nurse and she was in housekeeping, not housekeeping, she worked in the kitchen. And we started talking one day and end up figuring out we both kind of was doing the same thing. And I was getting into this homesteading thing and getting real serious about it. And she asked me, you know, I told her about all my container trees, and I asked her, how do you fertilize your trees? And I told her what I used. And what I used was, and I still believe in this fertilizer, okay? It's called Citrus Tone. It does wonders. It does wonders. You hear me? It has everything you need in it, all the micronutrients, the right amount of nitrogen, the right amount of potash, everything. This stuff is excellent for your citrus trees and any other trees, avocados, all kind of trees. The problem was It was costing me a fortune because the stuff is very expensive. It works. I'll never take credit from it. It works, but it's expensive, very expensive. Even on sale, if you ever find it on sale, it's expensive. So I told her what I was using, and she was like, "Yeah, that's good stuff, but why are you buying that?" I said, "Well, it's made for citrus, and it really works." She said, "Yeah." She said, "All it is composted chicken poop." And I said, "Yeah, I read that on the bag. It's composted chicken poop. I read that." So she said, "Why don't you stop spending money on that and go buy a chicken?" And I was like, "And do what? Like what? A chicken?" I thought she was talking about, a cooked chicken. She said, "No, go buy you 2 hens and you will have poop forever." She said, "Think about it. You will have fertilizer, nitrogen, all of the stuff that the citrus trees love right out of the poop. But you also get eggs for your breakfast. And when the chicken get old, you also have dinner. No spending no money." I said, "What?" I didn't understand. She said, "You don't have to start a big giant farm." She said, "All you need is 2. You really don't need 2." She said, "But I said 2 because nobody wants to be alone." Her philosophies was wonderful. And I said, "Okay, I get it. I dig that." So right out after that, the first thing I started trying to do was go and try to find some chickens. I said, "Where would I even find them?" She told me, "Go on Craigslist." I went on Craigslist and somebody had some old used hens, I guess, and that's where I started from. And I started with like 4 hens, and I built this little chicken coop. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was in heaven. I built this really small chicken coop. There should have been just for 2 hens, but I had 4. 4 ended up turning into 5 and 6. Long story short, that's what made me start keeping chickens. So what I realized is that you don't know chickens when they poop. They kind of poop like dogs, even though they're birds. The size of their poop is huge. So that that takes you and throws you off right off the bat. So now I'm thinking, okay, they're letting off all of this poop, and I thought I would 2 birds. The reason I got 4, I'm like, that's not gonna be enough for all the trees I got. Trust me, it was more than enough. Every time you scare a bird, every time you walk close to a bird, it drop a load. Okay, you got to clean that up. You got to get that out and compost it. So the thing was, get that poop, go put it in a composter. Next thing you know, you got free fertilizer, and the trees was loving it. They was loving it. Okay? So that's why I stopped using the citrus tone. And good morning, Quiet 424. Cutie, I always say Quiet. Cutie 424. I stopped using the citrus tone because it cost a fortune. And I was getting the same results with this composted chicken poop, coffee grounds, eggshells, and all this, normal stuff. And to be honest with you, she said, "That's me." I know. But that's the stuff I started using because the price was getting ridiculous. And the reason why we homestead, or the reason why we growing food, is to save money and know what we're growing. And once you start spending too much money, what you guys don't let me back up. You don't see me using all of these different additives to my container fruits or my trees and shrubs and fruit trees in the ground. And that's because after a while, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The more I listen to this little woman, I'm going to say her name because, you know, her name is An. And the more I listened to her, the more sense it made. Why do you keep going to buy all of this stuff? Rock, dust, worm castings, all of this stuff. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do, if you got the money to do that. But she said, why would you do it? And it's right here in nature. She was a big believer in nature. The chop and drop method, wood chips, coffee grounds, eggshells, fish, dead animals. The reason I do this, I got to give her props. I do all of that stuff because of her. You know, stuff that good morning, India. The stuff I watched my mom do. I never seen them really shaking nothing in the garden. I never seen them opening up bags of anything to put in the garden. But they was getting great results. So it's like with that, why would I keep spending all this money? And I'm telling you, I was spending a fortune. Because I used to get all of the additives, and if you look at some of my old videos, you see, how you doing, Free Spirit? You see in those old videos, I used to buy blood meal, bone meal, just all of this rock dust, worm castings. I remember getting to the nursery and then the lady totaling that stuff up, and she's like, you know, 67.92 or whatever. I'm like, God, woo, shit. I got the tree on sale for $5, but I just spent almost $100 to fertilize a $5 tree. Hold on one second. Okay, Letitia says, so true. I spent a lot of money on fertilizer, but the earth gives us everything we need. Reduce, reuse, recycle, everything. You just said something I literally wrote on this piece of paper of what I was going to put in another video about recycling and reusing, because I'm a big believer in that. Think about this. I'm going to go into another video a little bit here because it all intertwines. If you are going to spend tons of money on additives, natural organic additives, okay, to add into your tree or your plant or your fruit or your garden, why don't you just go buy it from the store and cut out the middleman? Are you saying I don't want to buy it from the store because I don't know what they did to it? I don't know how they grew it. Did they use chemicals? How did they do it? Okay. You don't know what's in that bag either. Think about what you're saying. Okay? I bought rock dust and worm castings. Is it? Who gave you the proof that that's exactly what this is? The bag says that. A couple of these boxes of cereal supposed to be good for you too. That's what they've been advertising for 40, 50 years. Get a bowl of this, and this will make you, this fights cancer. Now we starting to find out some of this shit giving us cancer, right? So who's to say what's in these bags? I don't care how organic or how natural it say it is. You don't know. You only trusting and believing in what this bag says it is and what's in it. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense to me to spend like $60 every other month or $100 every other month on a tree. Don't get me wrong, the tree is going to give you a good return, but it still doesn't quite make sense to keep spending that money to get a nice return, but you kind of breaking even. You understand what I'm saying? On the same gamble of putting all these additives that says they're organic in your garden as buying these eggs in the grocery store that says they're organic. You're doing the same thing. You're paying a higher cost to buy organic eggs and organic vegetables. Who says they are organic? And how do you define organic? Everybody seems to define that very differently, because I get a lot of questions. If you look in some of my comments on some of my videos, and when they inbox me, I get a lot of questions. Are they organic? Or how do you do it organically? People define that word really different, just like people was defining vegan and vegetarian very differently that I'm seeing. I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan, but what I'm seeing is a battle in their own community of what do they consider a vegan or what do they consider a vegetarian. Oh, you can't have shrimp. Oh, no, you can't eat fish. Oh, you can't eat eggs. People define that stuff different. Just like the word organic, to me, it's no different. People define that word different. To me, the bottom line is, why keep wasting so much money on some of this stuff and these additives when you can make it yourself out of stuff you're going to throw out anyway? You're going to throw out them tea bags. You're going to throw out those coffee grounds. You're going to throw out that stuff away. Why don't you keep them? Buy you a little bucket, a little 5-gallon bucket, throw that stuff in that 5-gallon bucket, and every few days, take it out and throw it in your garden. That's what I do. I started keeping chickens because that was the cost. It made more sense. I got chickens. Good morning, Miss 1976. The cost that I was spending on the chickens. Think about this. I got hens. They feed themselves. You put out some water for them if you ain't around water. See, I'm lucky enough to be on the lake here. But before I wasn't on the lake. So I set out water for them. But as far as the food, they fed themselves. They don't want the feed. They prefer to be out there free ranging in the yard, eating the bugs, the lizards, the frogs, and all the other weird stuff in the grass. That's what they want. And believe it or not, they're picking up minerals and nutrients and everything else that's out there in that yard. And they're transferring it into the eggs and into the poop. And when you take that stuff and recycle it and put it in your tree, you're getting everything you need right there. And as far as the bone meal and the blood meal, what did we just say? Blood, bone. What is that? They got that from a dead animal, from them in processing factories and everything else. All that is just a leftover animal that they broke down into this blood meal, bone meal to make money off every piece of that animal. So when you buy blood meal and bone meal, all you doing is basically buying dead animal, dehydrated animal. So when I find dead animals out here, good morning, Sapper Gardner. What's going on, my brother? When I find dead animals out here, that's blood and bone. It's just not meal. Put it right directly, cut out the middleman, put it right into the garden. It's the same thing, but I didn't spend any money. That's important to me. Cause after so long, it gets stupid after a while to me. Okay? I can see this. I can see giving my chickens additives because I do give them feed for those times where I'm not letting them out into the yard. You know, Medusa the hawk, she's humming around, and it's times where it's raining real bad, and I'm going on vacation. I need to keep them kenneled up. They do have a supplement, but for the most part, I buy a 50-pound bag of feed that lasts me for about 3 months because they barely even eat it. They're always out there. So that 50-pound bag of feed, and I buy them some high grade feed too because I figure if I'm only spending $15 every 3 months, they deserve the best that I could get them, right? Okay, so that's what I do. It makes sense. $15 for 3 months, you do the math on that. Versus what they gave me in 3 months. Tons of eggs, tons of poop, tons of meat if I wanted. They gave me that. It makes perfect sense. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm about. It's nothing wrong if you're doing container gardening or you doing all different kinds of method of gardening. There's nothing wrong with buying additives. I even keep a bag of citrus tone, what I used to use back in the day. I still keep a bag of it because if I'm not quite producing as much compost or natural fertilizer that I'm making, I supplement. That's what and I use a little bit of citrus tone. If I can't come up with enough coffee grounds and eggshells and all the other stuff, use a little bit of citrus tone because that's the most organic thing I can think of. But for the most part, no, I use what's out there. It don't make no sense. So I started keeping chickens because they don't do nothing but give me a return. And what you should do if you a small gardener, even if you just got a small backyard, you should try it. You should try it. I started out, I'm going to put up all I have is pictures, but I can show you pictures of me and Little Led building our first chicken coop and how I had it and everything. I used their nesting box. I didn't even build a nesting box. You know what their nesting box was? Was a Rubbermaid bucket that I cut, and it was like a dog house. I cut like a little hole in it, so they go in there, lay an egg, come out. And as far as them roosting at night, I just had a big old pole going through fencing in a dog kennel. That's what I had. That's what started everything. You don't have to, everybody keep watching these chicken videos and think you got to sit here and spend $4 and $5 and up $100 to the thousands on this big, beautiful, fancy chicken coop. You don't need to do that. If that's what you want later, fine. But you really should, you should get 2 hens and give it a shot. You can't go wrong. You're going to get eggs in the morning, and you're going to get fertilizer for your trees. And scooping, I even got to the point, I don't scoop the poop out no more and compost it. All you got to do is keep on adding grass, add leaves, add wood chips in the coop and in the run. And I'm going to show you what it's going to turn. It turns into black gold. No smell. It keeps the smell down so that my chickens never stink. Even my neighbors even ask, what do I do? Because they never smell my chickens. Just keep on adding. Every time I cut my grass. Good morning, Supreme Family Garden. How we doing, my brother? I keep grass clippings, leaves, all the stuff I pick up out here, throw in there. Next thing you know, when I say it's black, rich soil that I put around my trees. And y'all see me putting stuff in the hole when I plant a new tree. That's what it is. That's pure. You can't buy nothing. If I sold that, man, look, I sell it like my honey. I don't sell my honey for cheap because I know what's in there. Nothing but pure organic miracles. So that's what I'm saying. You should give it a shot. Try raising a chicken, some hens. A lot of you guys that hang out with me and we watch these videos together, you should I'm looking out for you, Supreme. I'm glad you got my email. I was wondering about that. A lot of you guys got a lot of land, and I watch your videos. I'll be wondering, why don't they got chickens and bees? You know what? Truthfully, I understand why you don't have bees. Some people are allergic to bees. Some people, it freaks them out. I can understand that. But a chicken, man, what and who don't love chickens? Whether it's eating them, eggs, what, really? I think everybody's yard should have at least 2 hens. And for the people that's always asking me this question, I'm gonna answer you right now. You do not need a rooster for your hen to produce eggs. You do not need a rooster at all. Your hen is going to produce eggs regardless. The only thing you need a rooster for is for that rooster to fertilize that egg so you can have chicks. If you're not interested in raising chicks, don't worry about having a rooster. They just make a lot of noise and they rowdy. So I'm not gonna stay on here all day. I just wanted to get on here because I keep getting a lot of these different questions about the chickens on, number one, how I started. And that's really why I started. I only started keeping chickens because of their poop. No other reason. No other reason on the planet. I just wanted their poop. You know, if you think about it, that's crazy. It sounds crazy. But what I end up learning was not only am I getting their poop for fertilizer, rich fertilizer, I'm getting breakfast from the eggs. I'm getting income from the eggs because I get so many eggs, I just sells them off. I don't care if it's just, $1.50, $2 a dozen. And I tell people it's $2, but if you give me your own carton, I'll fill your carton up and give you, hey, $1.50, $1. I don't care what it is. I just made money from my chickens. So I take that money and put it back, invest it back in my land. That's the money it helps me buy some of these trees I get. That's also some of the money, well, all of the money that I use to buy their feed. And I get people coming in, give me 3 dozen, give me 4 dozen. That's feed right there. They pay for themselves. Why wouldn't you have a couple of hens back there? And kids love them. People walk down the street and see my chickens out and they want to, hey, come on. They ain't going to attack you. It ain't like somebody's dog. You don't know how the dog going to take to other people. What a hen gonna do? Lay an egg on you? Poop on your shoe? She ain't gonna attack you. So kids love them, the neighbors love them, and I mean it's total 100% beneficial to your garden and to your household. So I'm gonna go and answer some of these questions and real quick. And then, I'm not going to stay on here all day because I'm about to go out here and start working on this chicken coop. I got the day off, so we going to do that. Let me go back a little bit. Oh, it's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay. Letitia said, good, so true. I spent a lot of money on fertilizers, but the earth gives us everything we need. Yes, it does. Reuse, recycle everything. That's what I do. That makes my wife mad sometimes. Sometimes she's like, okay, this is borderline hoarding, but yeah, and I can dig it, but it's the truth. Okay. Herbicide in the cereal now. Yeah, think about it. Here you go. I'm gonna stop on that. If you if they make a lot of this and most of this cereal from corn, the biggest corn sellers around is what? That Monsanto corn, or I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Let's just call it poison corn. I'm not even gonna say their name. Poison corn. Okay? Think about that. I don't care if they say it's this kind of cereal, that kind of cereal, and reduces cholesterol. They made it out of that corn. The corn that's supposed to be killing people. So you do the math on that one. It's the wheat and the oats are poison. So think about that. Okay, I'm gonna go back again because that one got me going. Okay, let's see. Sapper Garden, my brother. I use fish water from my tank in all my plants. Yvonne says I use fish water from her fish tank in all her plants, and garden eggshells, tea bags, coffee grounds only. People don't, you know what? Y'all wouldn't believe how many times I get a lot of thumbs down. They just don't believe me. I guess, I don't know. I just tell them, just try it. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm not here to persuade you. I'm showing you what I do. I'm not saying this is how you got to do it. No, I'm showing you what I do. People ask me how am I getting results on my trees and my plants. This is just what I do. I mean, you could take it or leave it. For some reason, they just don't believe it. But for the life of me, I don't understand. What do you think people did before granular fertilizers came out? Chemical fertilizers was introduced. What do you think people did? That's the question that nobody seems to want to ask. They think people just been gardening for the last 10 years. That don't even make any sense. That don't even make any sense at all. So that's what I use and that's what I like. Okay, let's keep it rolling here. Can't have chickens where I live, Yvonne. Who says that? And where do you live, Yvonne, where you can't have chickens? You know that's the law now, right? If you can have a dog in your neighborhood, you can have a hen. You can't have a rooster in your neighborhood 9 times out of 10, but you can have a hen. It's the law. Now, unless you have a sub-ordinance like a subdivision law in Maryland. Are you living in a subdivision? Because that could be overturned. Thank you, Sapper Garden. He said that is so true. It's the truth. So wherever you live, so you have a subdivision with a rule saying something about chickens. Here's the thing. That can be overturned. Go on YouTube. I'll forget the name of the woman, and she fought. Now it was here in South Carolina. She fought that law. She got that law changed for the country. Subdivisions cannot. It don't stick. They can't. That rule does not stick. If you can have a dog, they made it wherever you can have a dog or a cat or a household pet, you can have a hen. So look into that. I'm telling you, the subdivision cannot control that law. That's the law. That's like saying the subdivision said, we don't want nobody coming here driving a black car. You can't live in our community if you drive a black car. That's ridiculous. So, Supreme Family Garden is 18 of us on here. He said, let's all thumbs up. My man, he always looking out for me. Yeah, please, Yvonne, check that out because that's important. You got to look at it like this. Think about this. My neighbors, all of my neighbors have dogs. All night long, I hear barking. All night long. from every angle of my house. I'm sure all of y'all do too, unless you live out on a homestead somewhere. Okay, I gotta stop here. Sapper Gardner says we overturned ours in our county in Virginia, up to 6 allowed now, no roosters. That's what I'm saying. It's easy. It's an easy piece of legislation to get turned over. That's easy. So that's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Sapper Gardner, because people need to hear that right there. People need to hear that. It's easy to overturn that rule or that law in your community or your subdivision. So here's my point. If you all of my neighbors got dogs. All of y'all got dogs too around you. Whether it's you live in a city or you live out on a nice piece of land, you have dogs barking and you can hear them from a distance, right? That's even better. If you live out on your own piece of land, you hear dogs barking in the distance. That's annoying as shit. Some of y'all have dogs. You know they bark. What does a hen do? Anybody? It poop out eggs. Every blue moon, it do a little clucking. And when she lay an egg, she cluck for about 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and she's done for the day. She ain't got nothing else to say. She don't wake people up in the middle of the night because a stranger is coming down the street. She don't wake people up and going crazy because the jogger just jogged too close to your car. So they have no fight. They have zero fight. Because if you what a cat gonna do? A cat go in the yard, take a dump. What your dog do? You let your dog out and you let your dog poop in other people's yards too. It ain't doing nothing no different than what a hen gonna do. A hen gonna poop just like any other thing. So they have no fight. It's not a noise problem. That's why they don't allow roosters. It's not a noise ordinance. They're not breaking any noise rules. If you house them correctly, it's not an eyesore. So what's the difference? And I see a lot of people that own dogs where you be like, man, you need to go and give that dog up for adoption because you got it running around out here in a nasty ass yard and it's kicking up dust and it's eating its own poop and everything else. They'll let that happen, but they won't let you have a hen. It don't make any sense. Some people chain their dog up out there to the flagpole and it's running around choking itself half to death. That's fine. But oh, Lord forbid you have a chicken. That's too damn ghetto country fabulous. We don't want to see no chickens in our neighborhood. That's ridiculous. Oh my God, he's a redneck, a black redneck. We done let another one in. No, see, here's the thing. I got chickens. And you got an unkept dog with fleas, gnats, ticks, and everything else chained to a flagpole or running out in the yard, untrained, untamed. Now, y'all know what I do for a living. I get attacked by a dog at least, on the very least, at least 2 times a week. That's at the very least. This week alone, when I say attack, I mean I had to defend myself with pepper spray. This week alone, I was attacked 8 times. I should take in some kind of doggone pay for stress, right? Because I go to war every day with people dogs, untrained, untamed. Now, in the same neighborhoods that I deliver in, I see people with small chicken coops. No chicken ever attacked me. Ever. Why can't you have chickens? It don't even make no sense not to have a chicken. All it's doing is giving you something back every single day. A pet consumes. Not only does the pet consume food constantly, because you got to keep feeding it, but you also got to walk behind him and pick his poop up, because now that's a rule in a lot of communities. It's a law, you know. Come on, man. So I started keeping chickens because it just made sense. And I'm a person, I know it's a lot of gardeners out here to do different stuff, and I'm not knocking nobody. But I'm a person If you just, it's a, because I got a lot of new subscribers, and if you don't know much about me and you haven't went back and looked at any of my videos, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a person that if it don't make sense to me, I'm not gonna keep on doing it. So having a couple of hens in my yard makes all the sense in the world. They're eating the snakes. I seen them all. Y'all seen all these snakes out here this summer. Let me tell you something. I can't count how many times I seen them out there fighting over a snake one of them done got. And don't think snakes is just here to eat the chickens. The chickens eat the snakes. So that go both ways. You understand what I'm saying? So they're eating snakes. They're eating all these doggone frogs. They're eating all these bugs and mosquitoes and strange stuff that I don't really like crawling out here. They're eating that stuff. And everybody keep wondering, well, what all is you putting on your trees? Because you don't seem to have any problems with too many different insects. What kind of spray do you use? I don't use no spray. Chicken spray. There you go. Let the chickens out. Let them eat all of those bugs before they even get a chance to attack your vegetables and attack your doggone trees and everything else. Let them clean your land out. You cannot go wrong. So after a while, it just makes sense. If you get some hens, and I kid you not, if you keep them for 6 months, you're going to be like, why the hell am I just now doing this? Because it just makes sense. You're going to be making money from selling the eggs. You're going to be feeding your family healthy eggs. You ain't got to never go back to the store, especially around the holidays when y'all start cooking and stuff. Ain't no, oh my God, we out of eggs. Somebody got to go battle in the grocery store and fight for that last dozen eggs. I ain't had to do that in about 8 years. Ain't no last minute we out of eggs no more. Because it's more than enough. My mother at her house cooking eggs. She called me like, she said, baby, I need some more eggs. I take my mama some eggs. I take my sister some eggs. Other than that. Now, okay, I'm going to get back in these comments because, man, I'm going off right now. Cutie says, I've been thinking about quail. The only reason I never got into quail, they make a lot of noise. Number one, you better watch some videos on. They make a lot of noise. That's number one. Number two is the eggs. You know, you need 12 of them just to make a meal for one person. A quail egg, and then turn around. You want the meat. You seen a quail what they look like. They're cute, but I don't need a pet. You know what I'm saying? I need something that's going to really produce, something that's going to give back. You know what I'm saying? In a time of hunger, that's going to feed my family. One chicken can feed a family of 4 or more, depending on how to eat. Eggs every day. One egg this size. Let 2 ticks. Give me 2 ticks. I went out this morning and got a few of the eggs. An egg that size, that'll feed a man. A boilless egg, that's gonna feed a man right there. See that size of that? Got a little feather still on him. That's a man-sized egg. Quail is like half of that, if that. So nothing wrong with if you want to get quails because they're cute, but if you're trying to really use this, have this animal on your land because you thinking it's going to produce eggs, it's going to produce food, and there's really no high demand for quail. If I turn around and I'm ready to sell them chickens, they will be gone as soon as I list them. As soon as I list them. I list them as egg-bearing or egg-laying hens, 2 years old. They will be gone like that. I have never had to wait. When I list a bird, I have never, ever had to wait like a few days, like I'm trying to sell a car or something. Never. As soon as I list it, I get a call every single time. because people want those. Because this how they look at it. Okay, if the chicken ain't laying eggs no more, if I'm selling them cheap, I'm buying food. I'm buying dinner. Okay, so I'm sorry. It just makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna go back in these comments. See, I'm on way longer than I wanted to be on. But I'm gonna back up. Okay. I'm gonna keep going back because this. Whoa, we all in here acting up. Okay. Somebody's okay. Y'all talking amongst yourself. Good, good. All right, Supreme, look out for that mail. Okay, I got you. I'm watching. Yvonne says, what kind of tea do you use? And she's talking to, Cutie is talking to Yvonne. And she says she uses green tea and all kinds of, that she drink? Okay, that's good. And it's the wheat and the oats are poison. If that's what they doing, that strange stuff out there, you know it's poison. You don't know what they put in that stuff. Shameful to willingly feed people poison food. The way things work these days, if it make money, they don't care about you living. That's the last thing they worried about. You can look into politics and see that now. They ain't thinking about how you living. It's about making money. They look at it, look at all the medicines that they put out. Yeah, it'll stop you from sneezing, but you're going to have your butthole bleeding, your ear draining, one of your eyes may or may not fall the hell out, but you're going to stop sneezing. They don't care about that stuff. They want to make money. The problems that come alongside of this stuff that they talking about is worse than the problem. Think about it. So they don't care. Oh, we're feeding like that, just like the medicine. We're feeding you. You're eating good, but you may die a little bit. So, just a little disclaimer. You might die about that much, but don't worry about that. You'll eat good. You and your family eat real nice. So, same thing as the medicine. It'll stop you from sneezing, but you may bleed to death through your anus. But don't worry about that. Your sneezing will. You're good to go. You know what I'm saying? So get out of here. So I say, grow your own stuff. Know what you're putting out here. Don't be too quick. And I know it's hard work sometimes to do this stuff. It's not easy as far as when you making your own compost and you making your own fertilizers. It's something you got to stay on top of. You know what I'm saying? But it's worth it. It's worth it because I can honestly say I know what's in my food. I know what's in my birds. I know what's around my tree. I know it. And it's not always about dumping no chemicals on my tree. I know what's out there because I grew it. So I can't say, oh, it's organic because I bought some organic fertilizer, or it's organic because I purchased a bag that said it's worm castings. To me, nothing wrong with that. But how do you know? How do you really truly know? Plus, if you build your soil up strong enough, the worms are going to come and leave their own damn castings in your soil, even through your containers. If your container is on the ground with holes on the bottom, the worms are going to come up into your pot and leave worm castings as they eat around in your container. It's a natural fact. How many times have you pulled a tree or a plant out of the pot and you got all kind of things living in there? How the hell did this get in here? So I don't buy worm castings for that reason. Right, nature's hand. That's right. I don't buy worm castings because if you build your soil up with all the stuff that I said, chicken poop, coffee grounds, eggshells, dead animals, wood chips, if you throwing all this stuff into your soil, building your soil up, your worms are gonna come. Because in the beginning, years ago, I used to try to do a worm bin and all. Why even bother? I'm putting all this energy into that. Put all of this stuff into your ground. Don't put your food scraps, banana peels, eggshells. Don't put that in a bucket. Put it directly in your garden. Like now, it's raining a lot. It's winter time. It's cold. This is the time that stuff get a chance to break down with all this moisture and water. Put this stuff, forget a compost pile. It's a waste of time. Put this stuff directly into your garden and let it naturally turn into compost. The worms are going to come and eat those coffee grounds. They love those coffee grounds. And every time you move some wood chips out the way, you're going to see worms all over the place. All over the place. I used to not want to feed my chickens worms because I'm like, oh, I need those. But I got so many worms out there in the garden. Every time I move some wood chips, they wiggling around, jumping around like I'm stepping on them. So now, if they just squirming around, I just throw a few of them to the chickens, give them a nice little treat, protein. So I'm telling you, that's why I keep chickens, y'all. I keep chickens because it just makes sense. I don't have any indoor pets like dogs or cats, not because I don't like them, because I think they're beautiful. I'm scared of dogs, y'all know that. But cats, to me, they just don't make no sense. I got kids. I'm feeding them. And even the grown ones keep coming over to get a meal every now and then. I don't need another mouth to feed. So that's that's how I feel. As far as security, buy cameras. So I got chickens because it makes sense. I get a return every single day. Every day I get a return from my chickens. And I don't put nothing out. It's business. If you think about it, it's about business too. Zero overhead and almost 100% return. If this was the stock market, I would be a billionaire. Forget the lottery. You mean tell me I ain't investing hardly nothing into this project, but every day I get almost, just let's say 90% return because I put 10% into this project. It's a no-brainer. Am I lying? I'm taking the food scraps out of my kitchen and putting them into my garden, and my garden is giving me 90% return of some stuff no, that's 100% return of something I was going to throw into the trash and just mess up the doggone world with that. It don't make sense to me not to do it this way. So I'm gonna go back in these comments again, and I am gonna get out of here because I'm on a roll, and y'all know when I get on the roll, we'll be on here for about 2 hours. It's early in the morning, I'm feeling good, and I'm loaded off that doggone Folgers dark, what is it called? Black silk coffee. That stuff had me like my teeth grinding like on The Walking Dead. I'm gonna go in here. Okay. Oh man, we in here getting down, y'all. Sapper Gardner is on one today. Okay, wait a minute. Ooh, it's so much good stuff in here. My neighbor across the street, Gwen says, my neighbor across the street got about 5 of those roosters. They be coming around the front. What? You know what? You believe it or not, you can train your chickens. I train mine to stay in the back. I'll tell you that on another video. Okay, Derek Scott say, I won't plant a Fuyu persimmon tree. He wants to plant a Fuyu persimmon, but don't know where to buy it from. I get them from, you can get them from any box store. It's just certain times of the year they have them and certain times of the year they don't. Or you can order them where I order them from. If I get it online, I get it from Stark Brothers Nursery. So, you know, they are expensive, but you see what they produce. They're expensive, but they're going to give you one hell of a return in a few years. So, okay, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, Sapper Garden. Okay, somebody talking to Sapper Garden. We live in 2 different areas. I'm near Virginia Beach. Hey, I used to live in Virginia Beach. Okay. Yvonne say they said to try quail because they are small and you can raise them inside the house in a container bin. You get poop and eggs. Who told you that? You can raise them inside your house. Here's the thing about them. They're noisy, and what people don't quite realize that don't keep chickens, I gotta stop on this one. Chicken poop stink. Every blue moon, a chicken will let a load out that will, you can smell it across the yard. And you like, damn, is one of them dead? You go check on your chickens. No, it's this load. You gonna have that in your house? Ain't no way. Even when chickens is when you buy little chicks and they start getting bigger and bigger, when I let them out, say I start brooding, keeping chicks and I start up a new batch, you know when I take them outside? When they stank the house up. Once one of them let out one of them loads, it's time for them to go outside because they'll tear your house up. And if you don't think quails make noise, go watch a video about quails. They loud. They loud and they don't shut up. So, okay, let's keep it rolling here. And you'll get eggs, but they only this big. You'll get tons of poop. You gonna get it. Okay, let's see. Sapper Gardner, we have friends in the area. Your regulations are very strict there, but they can still be overturned. I know they can. Okay, Cutie says, thumbs up the video if you're learning something. Thank you, Cutie. Good morning, Food Forest Permaculture. USA is 5%. Okay, Free Spirit says USA is 5% of world population, but takes 70% of the meds in the same here in Oz 2. Okay, OZ2. Well, true. That right there, that's what my whole thing is. It's about money. It's business. People forget that. You know, I was in that field. One of the reasons I'm not in that field anymore is because I don't like the red tape. I felt evil. Yeah, the doctor told me to give you this. I don't think it's necessary. And I know he know it's not necessary. But if we sell you this, we gonna make a fortune. Because we have a contract with this pharmaceutical company. That's like if you going to buy a car and the car dealer say, listen, if you buy this car today, we gonna give you a free name brand television. You think he ain't got a contract with that name brand television? He ain't selling you something for nothing. He got a contract where he making money from them too. So he is going to promote this car and this TV. It's his kickback. Pharmaceutical companies and hospitals is the same way. No different. It's just, I mean, come on, you know. Okay, let's see. Okay, RD Sapper Gardner, very true. I live in the country where we can, I think the county where we can have chickens because I live where there are farms. My neighbor has horses and my other neighbor has chickens. Now, some of y'all don't even know, I kind of used to have a goat and a baby donkey. A miniature horse that was volunteered to me years ago. I'll show y'all pictures of that too. Sapper Gardner says, morning food force permaculture. Free spirit, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Hippocrates. Pathway to soil bank building. Okay. Really want to talk to you about ways to find property. Okay, I can talk to you about that. Now, I'm not a real estate agent, but I can tell you how I used to be in real estate. I used to buy houses and sell them. I've had a couple of different properties. I can tell you how I've done it. Okay, but I do have a friend that is a real estate agent because I don't want to tell you nothing that's not true. And to be honest with you, since I've lived in South Carolina, I've only purchased 2 houses since I've lived here. So all of that stuff differs everywhere you go around, you know, the country. rules, laws, regulations, and all of that is different. But I can get in touch with a real estate agent for you, and they can help me help you get through that process. Okay? Cause I can only tell you what I've done, and trust me, some of the stuff I've done, man, I talk somebody ear off. So I'm like buying a car. The car salesman think he's selling me something, I end up selling him something. So okay, let's keep it going. Worm banks are awesome. Yeah, they are, but a worm food forest permaculture, huh? Y'all all over it, lad. Thank you. Food from within the soil. RDY. Worms process the eggshells better than just dumping the eggshells in the garden. The calcium is readily available through their castings. I have 2 worm bins. Worm bins. Okay. Right. But if you got worms in your garden, all you doing is cutting out the middleman. See what I'm saying? I got proof. I can go out there and just lift up some wood chips and show you, even in the cold. I don't have to put them in a bin. Put it directly in the garden. They come. Like the movie said, if you build it, they'll come. If you build that soil, worms and the life and the bacteria is going to come. If you build the soil, they will come. So I stopped doing worm bins and stuff years ago, and if you fall off and you forget about your worm bin, you're going to have a stinking mess, and you know it. If you let off that worm bin for 2 seconds, it ain't got enough moisture, or it's too dry, or the food in there that you accidentally put in there ain't quite what you should have put in there. It's going to go to fermenting and foaming up, and it's too much. See, like I said, I'm a man that I don't have much time anymore on my hands to just be fumbling around. If it takes too much effort right now, I ain't got time for that. Some of these plants and these trees, believe it or not, I'm going to give them away. They were fun, but it takes too much maintenance. I'm becoming a low maintenance homesteader because I don't have time to just sit around and just be staring at these trees and plants no more. I don't need those kind of plants on my land. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Plants that you kind of always pamper. You gotta, oh, it's getting too cold. I gotta wrap it up. Gotta cover it. Gotta do this. I'm getting to the point. That's just too much. I don't have the time to pamper everything. I need stuff on my land that can handle and take care of itself. Chickens, persimmons, apples, peaches, pears, plums, that kind of stuff. My tropicals, I'm going to break that down to, okay, that's my little fun project. But I'm not going to keep building up my giant tropical love for the tropicals. I love them, but it don't make no sense trying to take care of them. They're starting to end up costing me more money than it makes any sense. Like, I love my mangoes. Now, I love my mangoes, all the tropical plants and trees that y'all saw me buy this summer. But I live here in Columbia, South Carolina. You got to think about something. Where am I about to put them? In my garage? My garage ain't even warm enough to house some of those. Bring them all in the house? Hell no, I ain't doing that. Because all you're going to have is a damn gnat infestation that's going to drive you crazy with all these different trees that been outside all summer. Now you come in the house, Gnat City. Telling you, Nat King Cole right there, all off in your house, in your food, in your tea, in your coffee. I'm thinking about, okay, I'm going to buy a greenhouse to house these trees that's only going to give me so much fruit. The return from the tree ain't enough to purchase the greenhouse. If I'm selling this stuff and this is my only job and this is what I do for a living, where I'm eating, I'm feeding a big family and I'm selling it and I'm making money and I'm making income, it makes all the sense in the world. But me, a normal guy, live in a house, live in a neighborhood, and, sell a few things at the local church, sell a few things to a couple friends and make a little bit of money, make a little gas money, I call it. That don't make no sense. Why would I'm not going to go out and purchase a $1,500, $2,000 greenhouse to house a bunch of tropical plants that may or may not make it. Mind you, I got to keep them in a container, put them in the greenhouse. So that means in a container, they're only going to give me so much return, so much fruit. So I spent all of this money to get a handful of mangoes or a handful of avocados or a handful of Barbados cherries that'll be gone like that in one setting. But all the money I used to spend, come on, that's damn stupid if I ever heard it. It don't make any sense. So me and Lady Led, I've been talking to her, look, some of this stuff, I'm going to end up auctioning it off because it don't make any sense. I love my mangoes, they stay. But all this other stuff, I'm going to end up selling it, and I'm going to let y'all know when I do, because I know a lot of people that want it. Other than that, if it don't, I know this is cliche and it's hip hop, and I love my hip hop, but if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Okay? It don't make no sense if it's not giving you something back. If it's not constantly feeding you, if it's not constantly giving you an income return, and you sinking all this money into it with different kind of fertilizers, different kind of feeds, different kind of things to fight the pest and everything, you putting all this money into it. Because I don't care how you look at it, every time you buy one of those remedies from the big box store, because you got mealy bugs or you got scale, you buying organic fertilizers, think of the price that you just paid for that one little jar of whatever you about to spray on there, versus how much fruit that you're going to get off of that tree in this year. Multiply that times how many trees you got. So that means you're going to use this whole container on all these different trees. So that's going to be gone. That means you're going to have to buy another one when this happens again for some oranges. It don't make no damn sense. Y'all, the reason I'm keeping chickens, because I'm way off track. The reason I keep chickens, because they just make sense. It just makes sense. I'm not investing much into them, but I'm getting 100% return. And I'm gonna leave it there because I've been on here for over an hour. I can't believe it. But I was rocking, and this coffee got me all gurgled up. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna run through these. All right, pathway soil. Okay, keep going. Dante says raise both quails and chickens. Wouldn't raise quail in the house. Hallelujah. They will take less room than chickens, though. Yes, they will. Quail are also more picky about food. And also another thing about quail is they will not give you a bigger return than a chicken. Okay. Now, Derek Scott, thanks for the information. Anytime, Derek. RDY, yes, tell us about buying and selling houses. I've been looking at houses for the past 2 months for a rental property. Okay, I can do that, but like I said, I'm not a real estate agent. Okay, not at all. I just know how I do it, so I can tell you that. But that's it. I'm not even going to even pretend I know those credentials or have those credentials. I know how I used to purchase property back where I come from in Ohio, and I know how I did it here. It might not work for you where you are. It's all different kind of rules and laws. Okay. Letitia says composting directly in the ground may be a lazy way to compost, but it works, and I'm done. It's not even a lazy way to compost. You take that stuff, you put in your garden. You take that stuff and put in your chicken coop. You know what? For you, this is what I'm going to do. Hang with me, y'all, because for some reason I've gotten this a couple of different times that no, I use a worm bin and that's, or the lazy composting. Let me show you something. I'm gonna take you with me. Let me know if this gets jargled up a little bit, because I know my internet been tripping, but I did free up some space in my phone just recently, so that's gonna help. So we outside now, okay? And this is what I want to show y'all. How to turn this around. My pants is falling down here. I don't want to show the neighbors my junk. Okay, this is what I want to show you. Okay, untouched. Untouched. We're gonna go in this chicken coop. I'm gonna show you this first. This is the black soil that I put down here from out of the chicken coop of me throwing eggshells, coffee grounds, chicken poop, the chicken. This came out of the coop. Look at this. Look at this. Grass clippings. That's what you get. Okay? Now, this is the color of the soil that I dug out of the hole. The gray, nasty clay. This is what's under the coop. This gray, nasty clay, because that's what was under their coop, turned into this right here. That's what it turned into. Grass clippings, chicken poop, eggshells, coffee grounds, ashes out your fireplace. That's what it turned into. Directly into the doggone coop. Now let's go in the coop, and I can even show you better than I can tell you. Watch out, girls. Look. This was where the coop used to be. I'm going to back up so y'all can see. Remember, the coop used to be up against my house, where the little chicken jail is, and right here. Look what's here. This is all grass clippings, chicken poop, eggshells. Look at that. See that? This is what I'm talking about. Look who want to be on camera. That old mean old. They know, and all kind of stuff living here. Feather meal, poop. You understand? So, what I'm saying is, why do you need a worm bin again? I don't need a worm bin. This is living proof right here. I don't need a compost bin. I have a compost bin out here that's useless. Useless. Don't get me wrong, it works. But it'll never produce as much as them chickens do. Good morning, EC. It'll never. Now let's take this for a walk. Check this out. There go my worm bin with weeds growing up around it. Useless. Because if you forget to keep turning it, forget to keep putting water in it, after a while, it's just end up being a big rock. These wood chips, look at this. Look what they turn into. Black gold. Black gold. How do I prevent raccoons from attacking my chickens? That's why I made them a coop. I made my chickens a coop so they got somewhere to go in the middle of the night instead of just having them outside. I learned that a long time ago when I first started keeping chickens. Your raccoons and possums want chickens. Everything wants your chickens. Neighborhood dogs, cats, rats, bats. But if you give them a house to go into, nothing, they can smell them, but they can't see them. That's why I don't have too many windows. I just got enough windows for ventilation. So other than that, that's all you need. You don't need to keep, you don't need to do too much to them. Matter of fact, while I'm out here, let me see if I got any more eggs. Yep. Dinner in the oven, baby. Right there. Dinner in the oven. See what I'm saying? That's breakfast, y'all. That's breakfast. Now, right there, I got breakfast. Let me take these in the house. I got breakfast. That's a return every day. Every day. Your chicken's gonna pay you every single day. So, again, been on here way too long, and I'm hyped up, I'm amped up, and I'm just spitting the truth and spitting what I do. I'm not spitting what you have to do. I'm telling you what I do. And I'm telling you that it works. It works for me. And it'll work for you too. You just have to Set these eggs down. Ugh. Okay. You just gotta try it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Give it a shot. Try something new. This is part of gardening too. Okay, RDY, I don't have chickens laid. I get them next month. I understand what you're saying. When you understand what you're saying. When they get big enough, I'm going to put them in the garden and have a great great soil. So all I have right now is the worms. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's all, you guys. I will stay on here all day because I got so much. I got stuff on here that I wrote down just to jot down some notes I didn't even touch on. There's even more deeper than that. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love y'all. You know I do. And I always talk too damn much. I know that. But I get passionate about certain things. Y'all know that. When it comes to these chickens, you might as well, when you log on to this video, you might as well be like, yeah, we're going to be here for a while. I can watch this while I can go take a shower, tub, wash the car, cut the grass. Led's still going to be talking. So, DAC Outdoors, got to get my new coop built before it gets cold. Got birds sleeping outside every night because there's not enough room. Right. You got, oh man, I'm glad you said that. Thank you, Free Spirit. Thank you, Letitia, because when they start sleeping outside, because that's what I told you in the beginning, I had them sleeping outside, and that little coop was too small. Here's the thing. Everything that walks through the night, start seeing your chickens. Thank you, Mendissa. Start seeing your chickens chilling up on their pole. They like, oh, that's like you walking through the grocery store and see one of those doggone rotisserie chickens just spinning, smelling, making the whole store smell good. And you like, you know, I wasn't in here for no chicken, but I got to have one of those. Good morning, Garden Love. What did you miss? I'm in here talking about chickens. Girl, I've been on one today. So if the creature is walking through your yard, he just going to get the fruit off one of your trees and see a chicken, he do the math like apples, chicken. He ain't gonna have to think twice. Because your chicken ain't gonna make a whole bunch of fuss while it's trying to sleep. I've watched a chicken, they don't do a whole bunch of screaming in the middle of the night when they getting eaten. Yes, I've seen it and videotaped it, and I'm going to tell you why, because I was doing a little recon to see what was actually eating my doggone chicken, and I had to handle that situation, if you know what this means. Had to handle that situation, but I watched the chicken reaction. While they perched up in the middle of the night, they don't do a whole bunch of screaming. They don't fight much. So the animal can just take it and do what he want with it and carry it off. They don't really make a whole bunch of fuss. So you wake up to feathers, blood, and one less chicken. So I ain't gonna keep y'all no more. I go on all day. But y'all keep hitting me with some good, great comments. DAC Outdoors is my other account. Not sure switch. Okay, that's somebody talking to somebody else. Hey, Sophie, how you doing? All right. Okay. Thanks for sharing. Oh man, y'all got so much good stuff. I wish I could stay on here longer. Go with food. Go with nature, and do not impose your will upon nature, and you will be healthy, happy, and helpful. Food, forest, permaculture again. How do you prevent raccoons? Okay. So I don't really prevent them. I just give the chicken somewhere to hide. I don't prevent critters from getting them. I just kind of give the chickens a little hideout. That's important. That's why I said make it big. Because here's another thing before I go, you guys. When you make your coop big, some people didn't agree with me. Like, oh, you don't need a coop that big. You know why I say make a nice size coop? Because once you start with 2 chickens, you're going to have 4 chickens. Once you have 4 chickens, you're going to want 6. And you don't, now you got to be like, nah, I got to build a piece onto this chicken coop. And Just make a big one. It's like, to me, I used to ride motorcycles. Don't start out on no moped. Don't start out on no 250cc. Go ahead and get you a nice size engine because you scared of it because the engine is bigger. But I'm telling you, once you get the hang of it, you gonna appreciate the power that you have. You're gonna appreciate that. You're gonna appreciate the size of that engine. Same thing with a chicken coop. Don't start with one of them little homemade ones you can get to some of these stores that you just snap together and you can use a hand screwdriver and put together. You're gonna be so disappointed that you spent all of that money on that piece of junk. I would suggest to anybody, even if you don't really have the skill set or this is what YouTube is here for. Learn. Build your own coop. Watch a lot of videos. Get a lot of ideas. Build your own coop. Because if you go start trying to buy one of these aftermarket coops, you're going to be mad. I'm so glad I never done that. You are going to be mad. Because every friend I got that bought one of those things end up throwing it away, angry, and end up building one themselves. And they just out of hundreds of dollars. All right, let's see what we got. One more. That's where I'm at. Got too small of a coop, but got 8 chickens because nobody ever told me some would die. Nobody died. There's not enough room. That's why I'm trying to give y'all these updates on this chicken coop, because it's stuff people just don't think about. Now, I've been keeping them for years now. I know all the angles that I've had problems with, so I made new adjustments to how I am and how I keep chickens today. Don't make a space too small. Don't make a space too small where you can't reach them. Make sure you can get inside your coop. Even if you bend down, make sure you can get in there. Make all your access to your eggs easy. Don't have to walk through the coop and run all the time. Make everything so you can reach in your coop and handle it. And if worse come to worse, you can get inside your coop and handle it. Because it's important. You don't think it is right now. You might think it's excessive. But once you start keeping chickens at least for a year, you're gonna be like, man, I should have built that. I should have done this. I should have done that. Trust and believe. The way I'm doing it now is the way that's been working like perfect for years now, where I don't ever have to rethink it. Oh, and another thing, raise your chicken coop up. I don't care if it's a foot, 2 feet, like my chicken coop is off the ground with those stilts about a foot. And you know why? I didn't just do that to be cute. I didn't make that space just so they can go under there when the sun come out. I also made that because it deters snakes. You hear a lot about snakes going in people's chicken coop, right? It's the truth. They do. But if you raise it up a little bit, that snake got to burn energy to get up and coil up to get up to the coop and all this other stuff. He gonna go find something easier to do. Find an easier meal. He wasting too much energy trying to do all this just to get up in your coop, and it might not be nothing in there. He ain't stupid. So raising it off the ground, what I found, 2 things. It deters predators from getting up in the coop, and it also keeps your chickens from always having wet feet, because when you put that chicken coop on the ground, everything, they're gonna track everything in that thing. They're going to track mud, poop, everything inside the coop. And if you in a wet area like I'm in, it's going to rot your wood. It's going to rot your flooring out in your chicken coop. Just raise it up. Even I don't care if it's 6 inches. Just get it off the ground. Keep it off the ground. Your coop will last longer. It'll last way longer. Put it on some treated 4x4s. Just get it off the ground. All right, that's it, you guys. I'm done. I'm done. I've been on here way too long. Thank you guys for watching. I love all of you for hanging out with me. I hope you learned something today, because this, to me, is serious. Hope y'all learned something. And if you ain't got chickens, get chickens. You can't go wrong. All right? Have a good morning. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed morning, a blessed week. And if to the person who won the lottery, I'm your best friend. Remember that. Old leg, give me a call. So, I'm guilty. I bought a small chicken coop too. Yep, did that one. Uh, that's where I am. Okay. Thank you for information. Thank you so much. All right. I love you guys. Have a good day. Have a beautiful day. And go look into some chicken videos. What kind for beginners? What kind of chickens for beginners? To me, it's two of my favorite. I know, Medissa. I'm still rolling. Buff Orpington and Rhode Island Red. Those are two of my favorite because they just are carefree and they don't have, thank you, Free Spirit. See you later. You don't have to keep watching over them. They do everything. Good egg layers, good meat birds. The Buff Orpingtons, good mother birds because they hatch eggs. They go broody and hatch eggs. Just those are two of my favorite. I would start with those. But if you're looking at a different, Barred Rock is always good too. So there you go, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, hanging out with me, and thanks for all the comments. I love talking back to everybody. I wish I could get back to everybody. I'm gonna try. Come back in the comments, and then, cause I'm off today, y'all see every blue moon. Y'all see me respond to your old comments, cause that means I got a day off, and I want to get back in touch with you guys. All right. So whatever I couldn't get to you here in the live feed, comment below, and I'm gonna come back at you. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I love you. Laird Farmer 73. You have an amazing Sunday too, Miss Garden Love. And what I'm about to do, because I've been working all week, I'm about to watch your video with IV Organics. I watched a little piece of it, but I was at work and I said, I don't want to mess it up. I want to sit back and watch her video at home. So thank you guys for everything. All my people, all my family, thank you. I love you. Thank you, Sapper, my brother. Y'all take care here. All right. Laird Farmer 73, I love you, and I'm out. I think I'm out.